Hey, it's Courtney, the hairstylist coach. I am live today to talk about Peace Pay. And if you don't know what Peace Pay is, we're going to get into it. But I wanted to get on first, introduce myself, let y'all know who I am, why I'm here, and what's in store for you. So, like I said, I'm Courtney, hairstylist coach. Some of you may know me as Coco. I have 12 years of experience behind the chair, licensed behind the chair in the salon, but I also have 12 additional years prior to that as being a hairstylist. And I don't know if any of you are like me and just jumped in because you had a good skill at doing hair, but you jumped into the business without business systems. So tonight we're going to be talking about Peace Pay, which is one of the systems that you need in order to properly pay yourself. Okay. So let me define what Peace Pay is. And if you see me looking over here, I'm looking at my laptop. Um, so Peace Pay is something that I came up with because if here's my theory, right? Or what I've experienced. If you're not paying yourself enough, then you will overwork yourself trying to make a dollar. I'm gonna say that one more time. If you're not paying yourself enough money, you will overwork yourself trying to make a dollar. So I came up with the concept of peace pay because you need to have peace around your money in order to attract more money, in order to help your money work for you, in order to have enough money to do what you need to do with it. So, Peace Pay is defined as a data driven pricing strategy that calculates the exact revenue required to fund not just your business operations, but your physical recovery, future security, and personal lifestyle. Basically, it covers the business, it covers your body, and it covers your lifestyle. That's what Peace Pay is. And it's based on specific cost of your life, on the specific cost of your life and the operational capacity of your body. So, you know how as a hairstylist, you've been behind a chair and you probably got into your fourth client and you feel your body like the starter is struggling. That's your capacity. That's your body's capacity saying, "Hey, I can't do another client. I can't stand behind this chair any longer. I can't. I cannot." Okay. So peace pay is the financial threshold where resentment ends and sustainability begins. So let's define those two words, resentment and sustainability, because they are a part of the peace pay. They are a part of your peace. So let's first define resentment. And if you're joining live, I need you to put hashtag live in the comments. I also want to know where you all are from. Tell me what you drop in the comments where you are from. I'm currently on location, aka vacation. I am on a vacation or kind of like a staycation in Philly right now. We're define resentment. So also, if you're new here, you might want to go ahead and get a pen and pad because I've already dropped some juicy nuggets on peace pay, on the definition of peace pay. But you want to grab your notebook and your pen so you can take some notes because this is going to be good, juicy good. All right. So resentment is defined as bitter indignation at being or at having been treated unfairly. Bitter indignation at having been treated unfairly. So if you have resentment in your business and you are a solopreneur, that means you have been treating yourself unfairly because resentment is defined as bitter indignation at having been treated unfairly. It's a feeling of anger, bitterness, or displeasure towards someone or something, typically as a result of a perceived wrong, unfair treatment, or injustice. It often arises from a sense of being mistreated or overlooked and can build up over time if not addressed or resolved. Resentment can affect relationships and emotional well being if left unchecked. So, if you have resentment in your business when it comes to money, when it comes to getting paid, you can't blame your clients because they will only pay you for the for what they will only the only money that they're gonna give you is what you ask for. That's the only money that they're required to give you. And then they may give you a tip on top of that. So if you're treating yourself unfairly, you can't blame. If you have resentment in your business around money, you can't blame your clients. You can only blame yourself because you're in charge of paying yourself. Am I right or am I wrong? You're in charge of paying you. Nobody else is in charge of paying you. So that's resentment. Now let's go in and define sustainability. So after because both of these words are related to peace pay. Thank you for these likes. Hey, El, thanks for joining. Okay, I see Trisha and Aubrey. Thank y'all for joining. Sustainability. Look, I got my weekend nails on because I can't braid with these, but they're so cute. They're press-ons. Look at that. Oh, I love them. All right. So let's define sustainability. So sustainability means meeting today's needs without compromising future generations' ability to meet their own, focusing on balancing human well-being, economic viability, and environmental, environmental health for long-term survival and thriving, ensuring natural resources regenerate and systems remain resilient. Okay? Hey E. E is over in Missouri. Okay. So I'm gonna read sustainability one more time because I did have a couple hiccups. So sustainability means meeting today's needs without compromising future generations' ability to meet their own needs, focusing on balancing human well-being, economic viability, and environmental health for long-term survival and thriving, ensuring natural resources regenerate and systems remain resilient. I know that was a lot. Let's break that down. So, the first part is meeting today's needs without compromising future generations' ability to meet their own. That's part one. So, what you do today should not negatively affect your tomorrow. So, as long as you are paying yourself well today, you won't have resentment tomorrow. That is why you need peace pay. And then the next part is focusing on balancing human well being, economic viability, and environmental health for long term survival and thriving. You see how they didn't just say survival, it didn't just say thriving. You got to have both parts. And it's a balance. So balance for me, that's not a word that I like to use. So for me, I like to use the word harmonize or harmony because think about it like a symphony. Everything won't be even all the time. Everything won't be equal all the time. But because of all the moving pieces, they can work together and create a beautiful melody together. Okay? So you got to create harmony amongst your well being, your economic viability, and the environmental health. Okay? That's sustainability. So those three things have to work together. And harmonize. So, and then the third part is ensuring natural resources regenerate and systems remain resilient. So they have to regenerate. That means it's not a one-time use thing. Sustainability does not focus on one-time use. It has to regenerate. So that means and it says systems remain resilient. That means your systems don't break down. So you got to have systems in place that aid your business in regenerating regularly without breaking those systems. Okay, so today can't negatively affect tomorrow. There must be some harmony going on. So all these moving parts work together. And then the moving parts can't break down. They have to be able to be They have to be able to regenerate. So it's three moving parts in sustainability. Three moving parts in sustainability. Okay. And that is a part of the peace pay. So let's go back. Oh, and I forgot to mention the environmental, that's natural, that's nature or resources. When it talks about those three pillars, that's nature or resources. Social is equity, health, and community. And then economic is prosperity and efficiency. So when it talked about the balancing of the human well-being, economic viability, and environmental health, those three pillars have to harmonize. Okay. And sustainability requires vision, which means you can't just look at today. There are so many hairstylists that I've talked to. They are just looking at today. Some of them can't look past today, the today money, in order to make sure that they have business practices and systems that sustain them for tomorrow or by the end of the week or next week or next month. Thank y'all for these likes and these gifts. Thank y'all so much for tapping the screen. That's so sweet of y'all. So you have to have, like I said, have vision for your business in order to have peace pay. Because if you're just looking for today, you're not going to last long in this business. Absolutely not. If you're just looking to make $1 today, you're going to have to do all that same work tomorrow to make $1 tomorrow. And you're going to have to do all that same work the next day to make another $1 tomorrow. And that is why you need systems in place that help you not have to start over from scratch every single day. And your peace pay is the beginning of that. So look at it like this when it comes to peace pay. If your pricing does not cover your rest, you are not running a business. If your pricing does not cover your rest, you are not running a business. You are just subsidizing your client's luxury at the expense of your own health. You're making your clients pretty at your own expense. So, peace pay is the difference between being a high paid prisoner and a calm CEO. So, if you're new here, if you're just joining, my name is Courtney Ben. I am a hairstylist coach. I help hairstylists go from chaos to calm in their business in 90 days. That is what I do. And we do that through boundary setting, systems, and sensory models in your business. And one of those models, one of those systems that we have is the Peace Pay. So Peace Pay involves three different move parts that help you pay yourself so that you don't have resentment in your business, but you have a sustainable business practice that allows you to have longevity in your business. So let's talk about something else when it comes to why you need to have peace pay. So peace pay really is about raising your prices. Peace pay is really about raising your prices so that you can have a business that sustains you. Thank y'all for these likes. Thank you for these gifts. So you might ask yourself this question. I want you to write it down. Why do I need to raise my prices? I'm about to give you several reasons on why you need to raise your prices in the salon moving forward, especially with the new year coming. You need to raise your prices if they are not sustaining your business and your lifestyle. So listen to this. There's a 75% rule, and I want you to hear this. Trade studies consistently show that over 75% of hairdressers suffer from work-related musculoskeletal disorders. That means back pain, carpal tunnel, rotator cuff tears, all within the first 10 years of being in business. Within the first 10 years, 75% of hairdressers have some type of work-related musculoskeletal disorder. And I will tell you from personal experience, 2 years ago, I broke my ankle. I broke my ankle right before December, which was the busiest month for me. I had a fully booked schedule, but I broke my ankle. And you know why I ended up breaking my ankle? Because I was neglecting myself. And apparently, I needed to sit down somewhere. I needed to slow down. And the only thing that could slow me down was me actually breaking an ankle. And at that time, I was 34 years old. So, how in the world does a 34-year-old break her ankle? Now, the story behind it, I was running to the bathroom in the house, slipped and fell, broke my ankle. Why? But I'm thinking, why was my ankle in a position to be broken in the first place? I wasn't wearing compression socks like I need to every day. I wasn't wearing supportive shoes like I needed to every day. I was packing in as many clients as I possibly could every day to make a dollar. And it was wearing and tearing on my body. And that wear and tear on my body, my ankle gave in or gave out. Either way, I was laying on the floor. You know how both your feet supposed to be up like this? Well, my left foot was turned to the side, but my knee was still straight. That's how I knew I broke my ankle. Mm. And I had to sit down for 90 days. For 90 days. And I had to sit down and reschedule. I had to send, luckily, I had been building my email list. So I had all of my clients' email addresses, and I was able to send out one message via email to all of my clients to let them know that I had broken my ankle. We were going to have to reschedule their December appointment. As of right now, I do not know when I will be returning to the salon, but just bear with me. So as I went through that process, I was able to continue to communicate with my clients via email in writing along the way. But what I had to learn in that process was to take better care of myself, because it does not matter how much money I have if I'm not using it to benefit me so that I have longevity in this business and in my life. Because slipping and falling, that could have went totally different depending on what was in my way. But I had to sit down for 90 days. Do you know how hard it is for a busybody to, let me back up. Imagine if you had to sit down for 90 days right now. Imagine if you had to sit down for 90 days. You couldn't drive. You couldn't, the only thing you could do was take your medicine, eat whatever food somebody brought you because you can't cook. You can't take care of your regular responsibilities. Like, I couldn't take care of my daughter. My husband, it was at the end of the semester for him. He works in higher ed. It was at the end of the semester for him. He had to close out the students or whatnot. So I had to go and literally be at his job in order for him to be able to take care of me and to do his job. and he had to take on all of my responsibilities. So literally, I had to lay down everything and focus solely on me. So the number one reason you need to have this peace page strategy, framework, format, however you want to call it, the number one reason you need that in your life is so that you are able to take care of yourself so that you don't have to you can take care of yourself now as you're working so that you don't have to be sat down like I was for 90 days. Sat down for 90 days. That was the most difficult thing I had ever done in my life. That was almost as difficult. I think that was up there with becoming a first time mom. That was difficult because I couldn't do anything for my daughter, couldn't do anything for my husband, anybody else. I had no choice but to focus on me. And I had to take my medicine. I had to sit down or lay down all day long with my foot elevated. I had to wear a boot, but before I even could get the boot, I was on crutches. I had a walker. I had the over the toilet, the little thing that go over the toilet so you don't have to squat down. I had a shower chair. Like I had to rearrange my entire life because I chose not to rearrange my entire life prior to, so I was forced to. I'm just saying. That's no one reason that's no one reason you need peace pay so that you don't have to have so that you can take care of your body. Physically, you can take care of your body because your body is your number one asset in this business as a hairstylist. It is your number one asset. So this goes to all the braiders, the estheticians, the nail techs, the barbers. Your body is your number one asset, and you need to have the money to be able to take better care of it. You know what I do nowadays? I go to the chiropractor once a week. You know what I do nowadays? Schedule massages. Make sure I schedule all my doctor's appointments, get checkups. To my dentist, primary health. Um, what else? The OBGYN, like going to do all of those things, taking care of myself. Those are important because if this body breaks down, I can be nothing for you. I can be nothing for anybody else if this body breaks down. And I only get one. Just like you only get one body. You can't be anything to anybody else if you do not take care of the body you were given. All right. Something else that I want you to um that is related to why you need to raise your prices. And it goes along the lines of your body being your asset, right? So there's this thing called standing debt as a hairstylist. And you're probably like, what in the world is standing debt? They got to do with money? No, it still has to do with your body. Remember, standing for more than 4 hours a day increases the risk of cardiovascular issues by 2 times. It doubles your chance of having cardiovascular issues. And most of us stand for 8 to 10 hours a day. You know why this? Yeah. You know why there's this standing debt? Why you're having a cardiovascular issue because of standing? Because all of your blood is circulating, it's going down to your feet and your ankles. You ever see hairstylists that don't wear the proper socks or the proper shoes and they have these big old fat juicy ankles? Yeah, that blood is not going back up and circulating through your body. It's just pooling down by your feet because you're standing for such a long period of time. So after So prior to me breaking my ankle, I will tell you this. Prior to me breaking my ankle, I wasn't wearing compression socks. I wasn't always wearing the most supportive shoes. I thought me buying the thickest mat was helpful for me, and it only helped a little bit. So I ended up developing varicose veins. I didn't even know I could even do that. I didn't even see them because I'm chocolate. Didn't see them. But one day, this was in 2021. So this was 2 years before I broke my ankle. My body was talking to me and I was not listening. So 2 years prior to me breaking my ankle, I ended up developing varicose veins. Well, I ended up finding a lump on my leg one day when I was showering. It was a little bitty lump, probably like this big. Yeah, this big. That amount. Yeah, that big. All right. No bigger than like if you had a nickel off your leg, but I felt it. Well, come to find out, that was blood that had clotted right there in that vein. Like the vein had twisted, and so the blood had pooled in that little area and it was building up. Well, I thought I was all right. So what ended up happening, my leg swelled, developed, what's it called, edema. It swelled to the point where it was just blood pooled all around in my foot, in my ankle, my everything got like huge. I had to go to the emergency. It was the worst pain. It felt like somebody was trying to chop my foot off with a rusty saw. It was terrible. I had to go to the emergency room. I ended up having to go to the vascular specialist, get my leg wrapped. I had to learn to start sitting down. But they came from me standing long hours of the day and having a bad diet. So they told me about my diet back in 2021. And then in 2023, I broke my ankle. So, what I want you to take away from all of this is your body is a depreciating asset. If you're pricing only for your time and not for the wear and tear on your spine, you are running a business at a loss. Because I wasn't at that time, I wasn't even charging enough. That means I didn't have the extra money set aside for those doctor's visits. That means I didn't have the extra money set aside when I went out on leave because I broke my ankle for those 3 months. I was down for 90 days. That means everything financially was on my husband. And I'm glad to have had a husband. Otherwise, it would have been on my mama. And she would have crashed out. She would have crashed out. So we're glad that we're through that. So guess what I do now? I invest in hokas and compression socks. I got compression socks on right now. When I fly, I wear compression socks. If I'm driving a long distance, I wear compression socks. Even when I'm at the salon and I'm taking care of clients, guess what I do? I have my compression socks on. I even bought one of those chairs, the stylish chairs that you can sit down that has like the bicycle seat with the back on it for support. I have one of those. So whenever I'm servicing clients, if I can sit down, I do sit down. When I get home, I also invested in a vibration plate. And with a vibration plate, it helps with that circulation moving. It helps with lymphatic drainage and it helps with circulating your blood back up through your body. So I get on that for 10 minutes in the morning when I get up, and I get on it 10 minutes when I get home because you can really only do like 20 minutes max a day. So I made sure to do that. Um, my diet has changed significantly. I make sure to drink more water. I am doing my best to not be on so much sugar because you can feel sugar build up in your joints. That's what arthritis is, sugar in your joints. And that junk don't feel good either. I've had times where my hand felt like somebody was pushing a steel rod through the middle of my hand. That's how bad it was hurting. But that came from, I later learned that happens when I'm dehydrated. The number one sign that the number one way to know that you're dehydrated, or I won't say the number one way, but one of the top ways to know that you're dehydrated, your lips are dry. Your lips are dry, your throat is dry. It's like it doesn't matter how much liquid you drink, them lips stay dry and that throat stay dry. Mm. I learned to drink more tea, more water, stay away from white stuff. As a hairstylist, your diet has to be immaculate if you're going to stay in this business. All right, so that was talking about your body on why you need to raise your prices. So another reason why you need to raise your prices, you got hidden costs that you don't even think about. So listen to this. When a client sits in your chair and dumps their stress, your brain's mirror neurons fire to mimic their emotional state so you can empathize. You are biologically absorbing their trauma. You are absorbing from your clients. So let's say you take 5, 6, 7 clients a day. And let's just say you take 7 clients a day. Let's say 5 of them, a trauma dump right there on you. Just dump everything on you. Then you are going to, your brain is automatically going to start absorbing their emotional state so you can empathize, so you can feel the way that they're feeling. That's a hidden cost. So you got your body that's taking shots, and then you got your brain that's taking shots. And here's another thing. You have compassion fatigue. So this is a medical condition that usually is found in nurses and first responders, but it leads to apathy and exhaustion. Stylists suffer from this at high rates because you perform emotional labor without charging for it. So if your clients, if you know you got the type of clients that are gonna come in and trauma dump, you need to raise your prices. You need to raise your prices because raising your prices, some of those people, they're gonna pay the extra because they know what they do when they come in there. They're gonna pay. It's almost like you're adding on a therapy fee, and then the other people they're gonna get priced out. Excuse. You want to price some of those people. You want to price out. So the takeaway from this, from the hidden cost, is that you aren't just selling a haircut, a hairstyle. You're also selling therapy. So if your price doesn't cover the emotional calorie burn, you will burn out. So if you're not charging enough to take care of your body's gonna burn out on you. You got body wear and tear. And then if you don't charge extra or charge enough to cover the therapy costs, because basically if you charge more and you're taking on their trauma, that means you got enough money that you can go and pay for um you can go and pay for therapy for yourself. Now, ain't that juicy good? I hope y'all taking notes. Be sure to share this live. Share this live with a hairstylist friend who is overwhelmed, exhausted, underpaid, overworked. It can be a hairstylist, anybody in the service industry, especially beauty service providers. I'm talking about hairstylists, barbers, estheticians, nail techs, lash techs, makeup artists. Share this live with your beauty friends, your beauty service provider friends. Make sure to share this live, okay? And tap the screen. If what I'm saying resonates with you, be sure to tap the screen. Give me some hearts. Let's get to 2,000 likes. All right. So next, we're going to go into um what your brain experiences and what your client brain experiences. And all of this ties into why you need to uh price, you need to charge more for your services. So your client's brain does this when they look at your prices. Low prices equal low value. That's what your client sees when they see low prices. They don't value it as much when they see low prices. You're the cheap option. And clients with high anxiety and low trust like the cheap option. But when you're the premium option, when you're charging more, you end up attracting clients who trust experts and respect boundaries. So basically, when you're cheap, the clients don't respect you, they don't value you, they don't they don't see you as an expert, and they don't respect your boundaries. But when you charge more, when you're the premium option, they value you more. Clients value you more. You are that girl. You are that guy. You are the one to book with. You are in high demand. They respect your boundaries. They respect your policies, your procedures. If you say after 15 minutes you're late, I'm charging $15 late fee, they're going to respect that because you have those systems in place. But if you're just running in saying, I need to take any and everybody because I need all money, then you're going to get any and everything. So the takeaway I want you to have from this with thinking about how the client thinks, low prices are actually attracting difficult clients. Usually the type of clients that you hate. Is usually attracting the type of clients that you hate. But raising your prices will act as a filter to bring you more peace. hmm So let's look at pricing from your perspective, right? So many clients or many hairstylists end up underpricing themselves due to the fawn response, the fawn trauma response. So fawning is, let's go and define what fawning is, okay? And if y'all have any questions, you can drop them in the chat. I will get to them at the end. So I will let you know that fawning is definitely a trauma response. It's based in survival mode, not thriving mode. So yeah, make sure I type in the right thing. So a fawn trauma response is where people excessively people please, appease, and become submissive to avoid conflict, harm, or rejection, often stemming from childhood abuse, neglect, or unpredictable environments. So if you find yourself people pleasing just to get a client, like somebody can ask you to do a service that you don't even do, but you say you do it just so you can get $1, fawning. If somebody calls and says that at the last minute, your schedule says or your policy says that you at the 20-minute mark, you reschedule all appointments. But somebody calls the like 20 minutes before their appointment and say that they're gonna be 30 minutes late, but you take them anyway. Fawn response. You need to stick to your policies and procedures. But you're responding like that because either there was some childhood neglect, abuse, or something, or you just had unpredictable environments. You just think you got to just serve and give of yourself willingly just to build a clientele, just to make $1, and you don't. I promise you, you do not have to do that. Because people pleasing, now there I will tell you, there is a people pleasing to hairstylist pipeline that needs to be studied because people feel like because you are a hairstylist, your money is in other people's pockets. You need to do, say, be whatever they want you to be in order to get that money out of their pockets. And that is not the case at all. You need to stand 10 toes down in who you are in whose you are and how you operate and your boundaries and your policies and your procedures so that you do not sacrifice yourself for a dollar. You do not sacrifice yourself for the sake of somebody else's well being. You make sure that you're completely grounded in who you are so that way you remain in who you are. So that way you don't resent yourself at the end of the night. Remember that word resentment? Remember resentment? Yeah. We don't want to resent ourselves. Let's go back to resentment. Remember resentment? Remember, resentment is feeling the feeling of anger, bitterness, or displeasure that arises from being mistreated or being wronged or being hurt by something or someone else. They can't mistreat you. They can't mistreat you if you don't allow them to mistreat you. And this, yes, we on vacation, so my husband he's at a conference. He just walked in. I'm on live. You gonna do it? I'm free. Yeah, he's free. He's about to be outside. This is shit never heard of. I'm on live. I'm not going there with you right now. I'm not going there with him right now. So remember we talked about resentment. So you can only if you let your clients come in outside of your policies, your procedures, then yeah, you're gonna resent yourself for that later. You're not gonna. There's no need to. You might resent them, but it's no need to resent them because you let it happen. You let it happen. Nobody else. Nobody else let that happen. So that's the phone response. We're not people pleasing. But if your prices are low, you probably were people pleasing. You lower your prices to avoid conflict and to stay safe. We're not taking it into the new year. We're not compromising. We're not compromising our prices. This is not the flea market. We're not hustling and haggling. Absolutely not. And then there's this thing called the guilt gap. So high function anxiety tells you that if you charge more, you're greedy. That is not true. That is false. That is false. If you charge more, that means you're able to take care of yourself without getting a loan, without borrowing, without robbing people to pay Paul. You're able to take care of yourself. So underpricing is not a business strategy. I want you all to know that. It is a trauma response. You're buying your client's approval and staying in poverty. Yay. Okay. So let's get into peace pay. So I did this thing. I did a thing. So with peace pay, there's a science. There's a science to pricing, right? So you got to ask yourself. First thing I want you to write down on your paper, because I told you, remember I told you in the beginning of the live to get a notepad and a pen because we're going through peace pay so that you can properly price your services based on strategy, on data-driven strategy, not just you bringing numbers out the air. So write this down. What are you actually charging for? And don't say that and I want you to drop it in the chat. What are you actually charging for in your services? And don't say you're just charging for the silk press at $85. Not after everything that we just talked about, your body, your brain. Absolutely not. Your body, your brain, the therapy sessions that you need, the massage therapy, the chiropractor appointments you need. No, we're not just charging for the service that we did. Absolutely not. You need to be charging for asset depreciation. Because remember, 75% of hairstylists develop some type of musculoskeletal disorder. Your back has an expiration date. You can't stand behind that chair forever. And your body, and you need this. So here's the thing. If your pricing doesn't include a replacement cost for your body, and replacement cost, retirement, health insurance, then you're not making a profit. You're just borrowing time. And we did not become business owners to just borrow time, to just trade time for money. We became business owners so that we can live a life that other people can't live because they didn't make those type of choices. We're not trading time for money. Okay? We gotta include in our pay asset depreciation. What's the asset that's depreciating? Our bodies. Now let's talk about the why. We talked about the what are you charging for. Now we need to talk about why you're scared to raise your prices. Remember, that's a part of the fawn response, that trauma response, and we're getting out of trauma. We're getting out of survival mode. We're going into thriving mode. Okay? You can't keep your prices low to keep other people happy. So a way that I put this, how I tell clients when we're talking, when we're having those therapy sessions, you can either have hell around you and I'm sorry, I do it the other way around first. You can either have hell within you and peace around you, which means you sacrifice yourself for the sake of others, or you can have hell around you and peace within you, which means your peace comes first. You come first. You are going to get the peace no matter what. No matter what's going on around you, you're going to have peace within. But remember, low prices attract high stress clients. All them clients that aggravate you, that get on your nerves, that work on your last, everlasting nerves. Those are the ones that you're going to attract with that, with the low prices. When you're cheap, you get the clients who argue, who are late, who don't tip. But when you charge your piece pay, you filter out all of those type of people. So let me tell you how you price or what you do to get your piece pay. So if you go to stan.store/Coco_Ben, somebody type that in the chat for me. Stan, STAN dot store, STORE slash Coco, COCOA_BEN. You go to that page, you will see the piece pay calculator that I created. With this piece pay calculator, it's going to include your business. Basically is a strategy on coming up with your hourly rate. Okay? And your hourly rate includes the chair, it includes the savings that you need, and it also includes the profit that you make, what you pay yourself. And then it also includes the no shows. It includes money for or cost of no shows, sickness, um, what else? The extras, the miscellaneous stuff. So it includes 4 different parts. Your price that you're gonna get when you use the piece pay calculator includes 4 different parts. And when you come up with when you put your numbers in the piece pay calculator, it's gonna ask you for your monthly expenses for the salon. It's gonna ask you your savings goal for the salon, and it's gonna ask you how much you want to take home. And then it's going to automatically add 20% to cover those miscellaneous costs like sickness and no-shows and cancellations. It's going to include all of that. And then it's going to give you a number that is to be your hourly rate. So if you are not charging that amount per hour right now, your goal for 2026 is to get there. If you are charging that amount right now, then you want to go higher because you're already meeting that number is a minimum that you should be charging for your services. And it's based on data. It's based on your current numbers for your business and your lifestyle. When your business, if your business expenses increases, if your lifestyle expenses increases, then that number increases. You get to decide on when that happens. Okay? But if you follow me over on Instagram or Threads or Facebook, you will see that link in my bio for my stand store where you can go and get the Peace Pay calculator. If not, go ahead. Let me type this in. Can I type it in? I don't see where I can type it in. If you want to get access to the Peace Pay calculator, be sure to DM me. And when I get off this live, I will send it directly to you. Substack, you should see a link in my bio where you can access the Peace Pay calculator. It's already there. You can just click on it. It's free to use because I want more hairstylists to be able to charge, to be able to confidently charge their prices and know that the price is the price so that you don't resent yourself or overwork yourself trying to make a dollar. Now, if you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat. Also, I forgot to mention, on Wednesday, I am hosting a free masterclass that you can also enroll in on that same link. It's called Mind Your Business. Mind Your Business. I'm going to take you through. We're going to do a full walkthrough on getting rid of one business leak and implementing one boundary to set 2026 off like never before. Because what I noticed is there is a gap in the hairstylist life cycle. There is a part of the cycle that hairstylists always skip, or a lot of hairstylists skip out on. So there's you as the hairstylist. Next, you create the business systems. Then you service the clients. The clients support the business. The business supports you. You make sure that the business systems are set up. When I say business systems, I'm talking about boundaries, policies, procedures, all the way down to the towels. Well, that's the part that's skipped majority of the time when it comes to hairstylists. We literally just have an idea. We have the talent and we go straight into servicing clients, but we don't build a business that sustains us in servicing the clients. And that's what Mind Your Business is all about. Building a business that helps us sustain the clients and sustain the business so that way our lifestyle can be sustained as well. So that's what I'm teaching on Wednesday. We are doing it, yes, on the 31st, on New Year's Eve. We are getting down to business and minding our business. Because when we mind our business, the world is right for us. We're not worried about what's going on in the world because we have a business that's going to sustain us. We're not looking for a part-time job when the holidays come around because we minded our business and we have a business that sustains us. We're not saying, oh, it's a slow season. Nope, because we have a business that sustains us. So Mind Your Business is a class that is free. It's a master class that I am holding on December 31st for hairstylists and service providers to walk them through having a Walk them through the process of building a business system that is going to help sustain you for Q1 of 2026. And it is a repeatable process. So you can do it with me live on the 31st, and then you can move forward and do it over and over again for yourself. But I definitely want you in the room. So make sure you go over to my Substack account, and not my Substack account. Yeah, you can go to my Substack. My name is the same. My username is the same. It's at Coco Ben. You click that link in my bio and you can go and sign up for Mind Your Business free masterclass. I cannot wait to see you there. Do I have any questions in the chat before I get off of here? Because my husband just went outside and I think I want to go too. At least go see what's going on. Now, why? And he said, I'm on a, okay, TikTok. All right, cool. See any questions? No, any comments, concerns? I want to thank y'all so much for joining my live tonight. I will be live again tomorrow. We're gonna talk about the New Year panic. I didn't even know it was a thing, but it's a thing. But I also didn't know it was a thing because I don't participate in it. I don't participate in a lot of what the world deems as these things that we are just supposed to go through. I don't subscribe to that. I subscribe to the lifestyle that I want to live, which is why I just realized 3 years ago, has it been 3 years? 2 or 3 years ago, I made this goal of going on, having 5 different trips that I go on each year. That's for my lifestyle. And I realized that this year I did 4 of the 5 trips. And the one that's the most important I did not do. And that was the one with my daughter. And I am actually going to have to make up for that and double down and give her 2 trips next year. So we're going to do a birthday trip and then just a mommy and me trip. But yeah, I did 4 out of the 5 trips this year, and I didn't realize it until just now. So y'all can live, hairstylists, you can live a lifestyle beyond the chair. You don't have to wait until something breaks. You don't have to wait until somebody dies. You don't have to wait until you get up enough money to do X, Y, and Z. You can build this stuff in when you have when you are peacefully paying yourself properly. You can make this stuff happen without even knowing it, because I didn't even know it. Well, since we don't have any more questions, comments, and concerns, I thank y'all so much for joining me on tonight's live. This has been absolutely amazing. We've been live about an hour, and I am over the moon excited. I can't wait to see you back here tomorrow. I might go live a little bit earlier tomorrow. But thank y'all so much, and I'll see y'all on the next live. Bye, Substack.